We really have to change that, you guys. Thank you guys. If you're tuned in online, we appreciate you tuning in. You're tuned into The Divide with Marcus C. Williams. Please hit the like, the share, and help get this message out there. We're having important conversations that you need to hear. We are the #1 conservative talk show in upstate New York. Let's make it the world. Hit that like and the share, and even just drop a comment, thumbs up, a high five, an American flag, whatever, and be part of the conversation. Because if you drop some comments, we'll do our best to pop them up as we go. Now, let's get back into it. We have had a number of very serious events happen all across our nation, but not just across the nation, also across the world. So I want to get into a couple of things that seem to be very, very pressing, and then we'll get into some that are more localized. We see the issue with the Iran war, and we have to ask ourselves, what exactly is it? Is it even a war? Is it a skirmish? Is it a limited military conflict? You know, like, what is it really? Well, really what it is it's a pain in the behind, right? Like, what is Iran really? It's a pain in the behind. Why are we even dealing with them still, right? And somebody said, oh, well, they might nuke Iran. So what? So what? I'm tired. I'm tired of hearing that, right? We might have nuked Iran since, I don't know, 94. Like, what are we, how long are we going to say maybe we might nuke Iran? Nuke them or don't nuke them. I don't care. Nuke them. You know, like, it's nonsense. It's nonsense. I thought for ages that we should have turned their whole country to glass, because how you going to tell me death to my country? Okay, death to your country. Let's light this candle and let's see what happens. You know? But right now they're like, oh, well, it might be nuclear war. First of all, most people don't have the first clue about thermonuclear warheads or any type of warheads at all. They just think of war and radiation based off of what they've heard stories about with Hiroshima and Nagasaki. We don't even have those type of warheads anymore. And the ones that we have right now not only cause way less radiation and way less fallout, but they're extremely and egregiously more destructive. And I think that that's important to note. Drop a comment, hit the thumbs up, hit the like button. I see a lot of you watching and not as many thumbs up or comments as I see people watching. There's about 150 of you watching right now. Let's get it up to about 2,000. So hit those like buttons and them comments. Now, as we continue to go further into this Iran thing, it's caused a number of issues. Some of it has happened to be an issue with fertilizer. That's been a big issue, right? Because we need fertilizer to grow stuff and stuff like that. But our federal government has been looking at different ways in which they can actually work around the issues that have come from that, right? And like I said, fertilizer is being one of them. But fertilizer hasn't really been an issue in our country. It has been a bit of a situation, but not quite an issue. Worldwide, it's much more of an issue. Oil, again, hasn't been much of an issue here, but worldwide it has. Now, the problem with the oil situation is, oh, well, it can't get through the strait or whatever the case is. Okay, yeah, that's a thing. But also, we don't get oil from the strait, so why do I care, right? Oh, I care about the manufacturer in China. Let China fall off the map and die. I don't care. You know, oh, well, we should be concerned about all the other. I don't care. I do not care about any other country. I do not live in any other country. Let me be very straight and forthright. And I don't think that anybody in the middle of Botswana gives a flying monkey uncle about the United States of America surviving till tomorrow or not. Okay? You know, and it's a very serious problem. In America, we are so gifted and we are so blessed to have so much that we have this concept that we must free the world from people, which is the most audacious nonsense that I've ever heard. Like, how are you really going to free people from themselves? Like, they try to push for, they don't want these countries to be totalitarian ruled. Whether they have totalitarian governments or military junta or communists, why do I care? Why do I care? Unless it brings us into direct conflict, I don't care what form of government that they have, you know? And all of these issues where they're talking about military interventions, this, military problems, that, da, 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 da. Let me tell you, I'm not a big military intervention person. Not at all. The only time I want us to be doing a military intervention is if it's going to benefit us. So talking about Iran, what are the big benefits of going to war with Iran? Well, hurting China. That's about it. That's about it. Hurting China is about it. But now we're in the middle of a trade war with Canada. We'll get to that in a second. So we've got these problems over there in Iran. And the question is what is the actual problem, right? Well, one, it costs us a considerable amount of money to have so much arms and munitions and manpower over there in the Middle East right there specifically for that specific target. But it also costs us a lot of flexibility, right? Because our military isn't in other places that we might need it to be. Personally, I think we should have retaken Cuba before we went over there to Iran, but Israel had other thoughts. They said that we're going to blow up Iran anyway, and whether the U.S. wants it or not, we're going to blow them up, so you can either come with us or don't do anything and watch them blow up your bases. So we were like, okay, I guess we'll go. And now we're over there, but every time we get ready to deal peace over there, they try to blow the people that we're dealing with up. So it's like they don't want us to have peace in Iran. So then the question is, what can we do? Now we've got the president talking about, oh, we're gonna take the strait and turn it into a territory of America. Are you? Are you really? I don't believe you, because you promised me mass deportations and that never happened. You're barely hitting deportation numbers that Obama had. And you're telling me that now you're going to take this land and turn it into a territory? I don't believe you. Not only do I not believe you, I don't believe that we can hold it. I don't believe logistically we can hold the strait if we were to take it. I think that we haven't impacted Iran enough, and I don't even really know who else is really over there right there in that area that we would actually take as a territory. Is it Oman, or who else is over there? Is it the UAE? I don't know who owns all those territories over there that he's talking about. We should take it, because you just can't take a body of water. There's nowhere to put anything on. Maybe he's talking about taking Kurg Island and a couple of the other little islands in between and then having that. Like, man, please, stop it. Stop it. Do we even have enough people to really keep it, you know? So if you're going to tell me, okay, well, let's look at the list of who are our enemies over there. We got these ridiculous people in Yemen. I don't even know if the Yemenis government is any type of real ally to us, even if they can't even keep their own country. But besides that, I don't even know if they're our actual ally or not. Then we've got the Houthis over there in Yemen, okay? Then we got the, what you call them people? We've got Hezbollah all over there. We got all of these people over there that don't like us. We got Syria, but Syria's its own thing. It's its own problem. Don't even get me started on Syria. We might talk about it a little bit later, but we've got all of these issues with these people over there. So if we were to take it as a territory, how can we make sure that there is limited ability for them to strike us? Well, we turn them to glass. We nuke them. We turn them to glass. Well, maybe we need to turn them to glass, right? At this point, right, to limit the number of our casualties. And people be like, oh, whoa, well, life is important. Life is important, but y'all out here killing all these babies. Y'all out here cheering on this Lindsay lady that strangled her babies with exercise bands in her basement. And you talking about we shouldn't nuke somebody. The audacity. The absolutely caucasity and audacity. Like, it's ridiculous. So, you know, and I'm going to talk about that whole case in a couple of minutes here. But I want to get back to the Iran thing, right? How do we take the territory over there? How do we hold it? And how can we ensure that nobody else is going to actually be able to strike us or hurt us over there? That's a good question. And I think that that's a better question to ask compared to anything else. Like I said, it is a body of water. Do we even have the manpower to actually take it? Like, this is my question. And I don't think that a lot of people think about it like that. Okay, we've got the boats, we got everything over there. How do we make it happen? How do we make it happen? I don't know. That's a good question. The second question is how, but do we have the ability to hold it? And that's my biggest question. And there is some land like across the sea. So the strait has this little, I don't know what you call it, a jetty, this part that jettisons out. It's by Kasaba, which is funny, Kashiba, or something like that, and Karsmar and stuff like that. I'm not actually sure what country actually holds that. I kind of think it's Oman, but the whole thing is kind of weird over there with the territories. But I'm pretty sure that it's Oman, right? Now, is Oman just going to be like, okay, we're going to give up our land over here or whatever? Do we have to take it from Oman? Do we have to take it from them? Right? Are we going to take over a Muslim country? Like, is that what we're going to do? Because, I mean, if we're going to go take over Oman, I'm with it. Let's go do it. Don't threaten me with a good time. I mean, I don't really support that type of thing, but the only time I really support any type of military action is if we're going to take something over. So that could actually be a real conversation. Drop some comments in the comment section, and we'll pop them up on the screen as we go. Every comment really helps people see more of the show. So as we actually watch what's going on over there and we hear the president talk, we have to ask ourselves, how realistic is it? How much bolster is it? And what are other people going to say? Right? Because honestly, like I said, I don't care about Oman. I don't know Oman. You know, so if Oman disappeared off the map tomorrow, I don't know that I would care. So are we going to take it over? Then can we hold Oman? Is Oman just going to cede territory to us? Because again, our president is over here talking about we're going to take over a body of water. We got underwater aquatic bases that we're going to build over there. What are we doing? Let me know. That's sounds kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? Like some G.I. Joe type stuff, you know? But these are the conversations we have to have. Nobody wants to have that conversation. And honestly, I'm sick of the bluster, and I want to get back on the topic of mass deportations. I was promised mass deportations. I have not gotten my mass deportations. I am very upset that I do not have my mass deportations. I want mass deportations now. Okay? And everybody's like, oh, Trump's doing this, Trump's doing that. Is he? What is he really doing? What is he really doing? Somebody says we need to wake up and stop the invasion. What invasion? Which invasion? So many invasions. Are you concerned about the Sand people coming over here, the Saracens coming over here? Are you concerned about us going over there? Like what, you know, and are you concerned about the evasive animals and creatures that China has sent to us that are invading our nation, destroying our crops and causing all types of blight on our farms? You know, it's just so serious. We gotta be more specific than that. But yeah, so we have so many issues right now with these illegal aliens, and I'm very upset, you guys. I know everybody's like, oh, well, you're a Republican, you're a Trumper, you're this, you're that. You ain't never heard me say that I'm a Trumper. I support a lot of the stuff that the administration does. Okay? Trump's not conservative. I'm conservative. So clearly we're not going to agree on everything. Trump's not Christian. I'm Christian. So clearly we're not going to agree on everything. And I pray for his soul that he does come to know Christ as his Lord and Savior. Okay? And that he gets saved. Praise be to God. And I really wish he'd stop saying praise to Allah online. Because what the heavens even is that? Like, are you playing in my face or what, bro? Like, makes me upset. Makes me sick to my stomach. So anyway, we got these issues. We were promised mass deportation. I'm not getting my mass deportations. Y'all talking about, oh, well, we are getting rid of 1,000 to 1,500 a day. Obama was getting rid of 1,000 to 1,500 a day. Obama was getting rid of the same number of illegal aliens that Trump is getting rid of right now. And you promised me mass deportations. I didn't get mass deportations. I want mass deportation. I want denaturalization, and I want repatriation, and I want it now, not later. I'm sick of it. I'm absolutely sick of it. Somebody said, oh, he can't do anything because of all the liberal judges. I'm not trying to hear none of that. They told me that Trump was a king. So if Trump is a king, he can do whatever he wants. So let's see him be a king and go do whatever he wants. Let's call these people's bluff. Okay? Let's call these liberals and leftists, let's call the Democrats bluff. Is he or is he not a king? You keep saying he's a king, but clearly you keep tying him up in court over all these things. So clearly he's not a king. Clearly he's not. Separately, what they tell you when you was a child, they said if they wanted to, they would. So if they really wanted to get rid of these do all these mass deportations, they would. They absolutely would. Okay? And let me tell you what would happen if there was any semblance of any reasonable plan in relation to this. The first thing that they would have done is they say, bet, we closed off the border. Okay, all of ICE goes to Texas. Get rid of all the people in Texas. Okay? Now, they get rid of the people in Texas. Yes, some people are going to get loose. They're going to go to other places, right? So they're going to go to Nevada. Let them go in the middle of the desert. Let's see how well that works. Nevada don't really want them. That's a whole nother separate conversation. Even though they're more Democrat, that's a whole nother conversation there. But Arizona, okay? You know, they go to all these other places. Then we go to Florida. We get them out of Florida, okay? We get them out of Tennessee, okay? We go to all of these places that are supposed to be Republican strongholds, and we hit them hard. We send everybody and their mama. And you say, oh, well, they'll run from there. Okay, but we're going to get a whole bunch of them. We're going to get a whole bunch of them. And let's clear them out state by state. You understand what I'm saying? If it was me, I'd do a two-pronged attack. Okay, we'd start at Texas and we go at Florida at the same time, and we come up towards the west and from the east at the same time, come through Louisiana, okay, Mississippi, Alabama, all of that. Then we go up, Tennessee, okay, Arkansas. Like, there's no semblance of any type of order. They're doing it here, they're doing it there, they're doing it good. Or how about New York City? Just New York City, okay? What do you mean you don't have enough agents? New York City only got so many ways that you can get into it or get out of it. I'm dropping all the agents there tomorrow. And then people be like, oh, well, they'll run. Where are they going to run to? They ain't running to nowhere. They're going to get a plane, a bus, or whatever. We're going to monitor all of that. We don't even need additional ways to monitor it. We can just use regular old-fashioned ways to monitor that stuff. Like, you can't be real and you can't be serious. Then I go to Chicago. All of them will be out of Chicago. Like, what is the problem here? You promised me mass deportations. I do not have my mass deportations. We got 30 million of them here, okay? And you're going to tell me, play my face, oh, well, it's because of the courts. It's because of this. It's because of that. Somebody said a lot of it is because nobody gets arrested. I'm not trying to hear that. Did it not pop up on the screen? That didn't pop up. There it goes. I'm not trying to hear that either. No, they don't arrest anybody. That's okay. I'm not asking for the police to arrest anybody. I'm asking for the federal government to arrest them. Okay? It's not complicated. It's not rocket science. You got all of these great, smart people, all of these tacticians and stuff like that. Like, why can't we come up with a comprehensive, cohesive plan? To me, it looks like BS. And I'm pissed. I'm absolutely pissed. And you say, well, Marcus, it's not that serious or whatever the case is. It's not that serious to you because you do not see where we are going. Let me lay this out for the direction that we're going. We're getting to the point very quickly where AI and these machines are taking over everything, where there won't be any jobs. What do you think is going to happen when them jobs are gone? Okay, you're going to be having to compete with all these illegal aliens, okay, that have been getting all of these benefits and stuff from the government. You are literally going to have to end up fighting with these people. Okay, there will be internal physical conflict with these people. There already are in many places. Look at what's happening in England, where they're fighting machete fights in the streets, chasing down the citizens of those countries and stuff like that. Look at Ireland. We're not being real or serious here. These people are a very serious problem. They all got to go. Somebody might say, oh, well, it's the Muslims. I don't want to hear it's the Muslims. It's all of them. Every last one of them got to go. I don't care if they're from what do you call it? If they're from Thailand, I don't care if they're from Mexico. I don't care if they're from the snow-covered northern mountains in Norway. All of them got to go. Every single last one. And not later, today, not tomorrow. So we also have somebody said, what's it say? Republicans do not any all Congress needs to be investigated. That's another thing. Congress is one of the most corrupt entities in our country, right? Like, it should be illegal for them to take all of these monies and all of these gifts and go on all of these trips with all of these different panhandlers. You know, I guess panhandling isn't really the right equivalency. There's got to be another. They're like people in vans that are handing out free candy. You know, these people that are out there trying to, I guess you would say, preach for their cause or whatever you want to say. Really, really, what it is all of these lobbying organizations need to be eliminated. The ability to lobby needs to be eliminated. Like, I'm so sick and tired of this because all of these lobbying organizations are against the people. Are they in the best interest of the people? 99.9% of them, they're for their industry or for their small group of people. I'm not trying to hear that. And they take these senators and these congressmen out to dinners and lunches, stuff like that, and vacations, and buy them prostitutes and all types of other stuff. And the issue in itself isn't the prostitutes. We're going to get to the prostitutes in a second. But the fact is that they hook them up with all of these different nice and fluffy things and stuff like that. And it's a serious problem. It's a serious problem. You know? Somebody said, no arrests, nothing. How are we going to save America? Listen, they won't even arrest the people that were the COVID tyrants that we were promised would get arrested. They won't get out here and arrest these people from all of these issues with these fraudulent election registries, right? I didn't say fraudulent elections. I said fraudulent election registries. Completely different thing. But we could talk about actual voter fraud too. That nobody's going to jail or getting arrested for either. Can we be serious? You understand what I'm saying? There were 2-3 things that I was promised that I'm really pissed off about that I haven't gotten yet. There was one, my mass deportations that I was promised. That was 2, that these COVID tyrants were going to go to prison. And it was 3, that they were going to secure our election. And none of it has happened. And people say, oh, well, you need to wait, be patient, be this, be that. We dealt with the whole term of Trump one time already. I waited and was patient through all of that. Now here we are in the second term. You want me to wait some more? How much I'm going to wait? I see them telling me to wait over here where I live in my elected officials. My assembly person, oh, wait, I'm just new here. Oh, wait, I'm just new here. I can't do anything. You've been there 6 years, bro. What do you mean? You can't do anything. Senators, I can't do anything. I can't do. What do you mean? You've been there 3-4 terms now. What do you mean? You understand what I'm saying? I'm not trying to hear none of this. If you wanted to, you would. The fact of the matter is you won't because you don't care. And the point is these people actively get paid, right? It's not like it's a volunteer service. It's not like they are destitute living on the streets. It's not like they're struggling to make day-to-day ends meet. It's legitimately their job to represent us as our elected representatives. Somebody said, why didn't the SAVE Act pass? You guys drop some comments and we'll cover your comments as they come in. Drop an American flag, drop a thumbs up. I see about 400 people watching right now. Smash that like button, okay? Smash that like button. Now, as we have these conversations, we have to talk about the SAVE Act. How come the SAVE Act didn't pass, right? And we talked about that before. How come we couldn't even get a skinny SAVE Act, which just is on voter ID? You know, these people don't really want to. If they wanted to, they would. The House passed the SAVE Act, I don't know, something like 5-6 times. 5-6 times the House passed the SAVE Act. And where is Senator Thune supposed to be the leader of the majority there? He ain't do a daggone thing in the Senate. Okay? If they wanted to, they would. They would figure out how to make it work. Or they chip away at it little by little and put this portion of a bill through, put that portion of a bill through, put it together until we have a comprehensive piece of work. It's like a puzzle. You start putting pieces together until you got the whole picture. Come on now. You know, and it very much upsets me. It very much upsets me because it shows the direction that we're going in as a nation, right? We look at this situation with Lindsay Clancy, okay? This woman murdered her 3 children by strangling them in the basement when her husband went out to go get food and pick up her prescriptions. And people are out here saying, oh, well, it's complicated. It is not complicated. She took them in the basement and strangled those children. All very small children, 3, 5, and what was the other one? 10? Not even 10? Like, it's ridiculous. All 3 of her children. And she killed them viciously. I don't know if you guys have ever had like those straps that they use for fitness. Like, that's not a rope, you guys. That thing has a lot of flex and a lot of give. You really got to go out your way to intentfully strangle somebody with one of those. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just a regular rope. Them things are boingy, boingy. You know? Like, that's the whole point. They're resistance bands, but they got given them because the resistance. You know? And these people, these women, largely white, liberal, leftist women, okay, are out here talking about, oh, well, mental health and what they say, postpartum depression. Electric chair. That's what we need to be talking about. The electric chair. She needs to fry, okay? If it was my preference, she'll be drawn and quartered, okay? Tie each one of her limbs to a horse and pull her apart. The viciousness that she did to those children must be reprised upon her. Like, it is unacceptable that there are so many women out there making excuses for this monster. And then we wonder why it's okay to murder babies in the womb. They're out here celebrating murdering babies in real life. And then on top of that, they had this other lady who just shot her kids up. And that's crazy to me. It's beyond upsetting. Beyond upsetting. And I believe she had 3 kids too. And that's a problem. It's a serious problem, but we can't even talk about that, right? We can't talk about that. It's a very, very serious situation. She shot her 4 children inside her car. 2 of them died. So nope, that's the one from last year. Excuse me, I'm thinking of the one where she slit their throats. Where's the thing about her slitting their throats? I don't know. Anyway, she cut their throats, and I think only the 2-year-old lived, or the kid that was like 1-year-old lived. It's bad. And that's not even making the news. It's so sad. It's very, very sad that this is the world that we live in. What are we even doing as a society when it's okay to champion for this type of stuff and be like, oh, it's okay. It's not a problem. Murdering children isn't a problem. Murdering children is okay. When did that happen? Kaylee Earnhardt is her name. Okay. She tried to kill her 3 young children. All right. And there was the victims were the 5-month-old infant. She slit the throat of a 5-month-old infant. She slit the throat of her 3-year-old, and she slit the throat of her 1-year-old, and the 1-year-old survived. Make it make sense. And people are out here celebrating these women. Lindsay Clancy, this woman, Kaylee Earnhardt. Like, it's a very serious problem. The mentality of society today is that these types of issues are absolutely okay, and they're absolutely not, and they're unacceptable. Now, you tell me in the comments, have you heard about this actually happening? Did you hear about the woman that sliced the throat of her children? I want to know. Drop it in the comments. Give me a thumbs up. Give me an American flag. Let me know. Be part of the conversation, because they didn't even cover that on the news. Like, she slit the throat of a 5-month-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. And we're supposed to act like this type of stuff is okay. We're supposed to not say anything. We're supposed to be like, oh, everything is copacetic. You know, it's beyond reprehensible what our nation is becoming. It's unacceptable. It's absolutely unacceptable. And we need to start pushing back against this. I've even known people that I would have considered more sensible with this Lindsay issue talking about, oh, we support her because she had like psychotic issues. She had psychotic issues. She wasn't on any medicine for psychotic issues. She had insomnia. She had depression, and I forget what the other thing was that she had. And I don't care what nobody says. Being psychotic doesn't make you stupid. You know what you're doing. And then she's like, oh, well, the voices in my head, there was a voice in my head commanding me to do it. Who's in charge of your body? You are the voice. You are the voice. And you didn't tell anybody else about the voices until after you're trying to now get a lesser sentence. I hope they do the stuff that they do to these type of children murderers in prison to her. And she don't get out. Okay? Don't make it out. This is unacceptable. And people are out here championing for, man, it's despicable. It's despicable. Life is so cheap in our country right now. And they got the nerve to tell me something about, oh, the people in Iran and the citizens. I don't care about them. Y'all over here celebrating the death and the murder of babies and children. What about our country? What about our people? Does anybody care about them? No. 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 Not even at all. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. And it just goes to show you how valueless life is to white women. Largely the Democrat, white, leftist, liberal women. They don't value the life of children or anybody else. And it's got to be their way or the highway. And it's a very, very serious situation. Somebody asked us pre-recorded. This is live. You're live. We're all the way live. Hit the thumbs up, hit the like button, hit the share, hit the retweet. All right. We are all the way live. So as more people, I see a couple hundred people just joined in. As more people are joining in, you know, we're talking about how cheap life is in the U.S. with the Kaylee Earhart, who killed two of her 3 children. A 5-month-old, she slit the 5-month-old's throat. She slit the 3-year-old's throat, and she slit the 1-year-old's throat. The 5-month-old died. The 3-year-old died, and the 1-year-old just survived. Just survived. Praise the Lord Jesus. Okay, but these other people are over here celebrating the Lindsay Clancy for strangling her children to death with bands, right? With the resistant bands, right? Like, what type of world are we living in where people are out here celebrating this? And it's okay because, oh, well, she had postpartum psychosis. What nonsense. And people will try to make excuses. I can't deal. If you got to make excuses, you and all them other women there need to be in long-term mental institutions. Stay. Because you're trying to make excuses for the unexcusable. We don't institutionalize people anymore, and we should. Because this type of activity explains to us exactly why we got all of these socialists and communists and crazy Islamists taking over. Because people are okay with it. They're okay with insane stuff happening. They're okay with insane stuff going on. They're okay with insane stuff becoming common practice. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. And we need to start pushing back against this nonsense. But the question is, when? When will people start pushing back against the nonsense? And I got to be honest, I don't know if they ever will. Look at what's happening right now. Look at it. I mean, on its face, the country is in a moral decline, in a cultural decline. And they want to let all of these other people over here that believe in child marriage and that you can have all these extra wives and all of this other types of crazy stuff, having multiple wives that are all children and all types of craziness. And they try to make excuses for it. There's no excuse, okay? There ain't no type of excuses. And then doing stuff with animals and stuff like that, it's crazy. It's becoming more commonplace, you know? I always bring it back to the guy from a couple years ago. Go look it up. I believe it was Penn State, or I believe it was Penn State, or it might have been Pennsylvania University. I believe it was Penn State, where they had the guy that was banging the dog, like, and he was just like, I'm just blowing off steam, like it's okay, because this is where we are in the world today, you know, like, it's disgusting and despicable. And we need to start standing up, and we need to start pushing back against it. I want to talk about Canada for a minute, because I'm about sick of these people too. I saw Mark Carney, their premier, okay, over there the other day. He was giving a speech after we were talking about the tariffs and stuff like this. I wanted to sock him in his forehead, okay? Like, and you guys, if you guys know about fighting or anything, you don't punch people in the forehead. The forehead is the hardest bone in the body, essentially. So you don't want to hit somebody there. So for me to say that, I'm making a very specific point. That I don't want to hurt him too much, but I want him to suffer just a little bit. Okay? And if it is, I'm willing to suffer just to hurt him a little bit. Because I can't stand that guy. Like, I can't stand him. This institutional banker who is one of George Soros's people, okay, who used to be the head of the IMF. If you want to see a bunch of villains, go look up the IMF and what the IMF actually does, the International Monetary Fund. If you think people are evil and bad, go look up the IMF, okay? They're like the top level of bad banking people. You know, like you got them, and then you got the Rothschilds, right? And the Rothschilds are heavily invested in the IMF. Anyway, but this guy is like, oh, well, you know, Trump's going to put tariffs on Canada and we're fighting back. Well, Trump wants Canada to actually accept a lot of goods from the US that they don't. Like certain agricultural goods was one of the big things in relation to it and stuff like that. We do a lot of business with Canada when it comes to automobiles and things like that, and we build them there and all of this. So Trump really tried to do a negotiation with them, and he's a dick because he's in China's pocket. Go look that up. Go look at what's going on with China and Canada. But we can't have those conversations because people don't know enough about the conversation, and they're like, oh, well, this is Trump, and Trump is alone, and he's just doing all of this stuff, and it's crazy. But there's always more to those type of stories. But people don't want to have those full conversations. And now we're, I guess, going to put 50% tariffs on Canada in September or October. I think it's October now. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of them promising me they're going to do stuff. Just do it. Put the daggone tariffs on. Light the freaking candle. You know? Like, let's do this already. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, whoa. We're trying to work it out with them. They don't want to work it out. They don't want to work it out, so you need to show them. They effed around. Now, you got to let them find out. Okay? See, this is another whole problem. It's another whole problem. And it's despicable. It's absolutely despicable. Makes me want to spit. It's so frustrating. But this is what we deal with in this nation. And as the president is doing everything that he can to reshore manufacturing to the U.S. and everything like this dispute with Canada shows exactly how much these people don't give a flying monkey's uncle about us. Well, Marcus, don't you care about Canada? I care about Canada as much as it benefits the United States, and I'm sure they care the same way about the United States. When I heard Carney speaking trash and talking about the U.S., I was like, how much money does it cost us to push for another 3 of their provinces to secede? Because Alberta's trying to secede right now. I hope it goes through because I'm so sick of Canada. Whatever hurts Canada at this point. And I'm still mad at the War of 1812, okay? We need some get back. We should have never let them go, okay? And let that go. Never. And you might not know what happened with that. They came and they burnt down the White House. Somebody said, well, we burned Ottawa. I don't give a flying monkey's uncle what we did. It wasn't enough. Because clearly they didn't understand. Now we got down in Mexico, we got the Sinaloa governor that's doing their own daggone thing down there because the U.S. was like, we want them extradited. And what's her name? Shannon Baum, okay, was like, oh no, we're not doing that. And now he's back in power down there just doing his thing. Okay, he's part of the cartel. She's part of the cartel. They're all against the people of Mexico. And vicariously, they are all directly against the United States of America and our interests. Because it was like 410 people died in order for her to be president, and like 140 of them were candidates for her to be president. You don't, all them people don't die magically and you survive a presidential election in those numbers and you not be in bed with the cartel. Stop playing with me. Stop playing. So another thing I wanted to talk about that's not been in the news that much is there's a city in Indiana where their whole power, I don't know if you guys know about the storms in Indiana. God bless Indiana. Please, you guys, pray for Indiana because a lot of them are hurt really bad by the recent storms. A lot of their energy has gone out in Indiana, and nobody's talking about it like that because they had a whole bunch of storms and flooding and tornadoes that happened back on the 11th, and they've been continuing in many places. So a lot of Indiana is really jacked up. Fortunately, only 7 people died, but a lot of them are really messed up. Gary, Indiana, you might have heard of it. Like, it's messed up. They don't have like any electricity there at all. That's crazy. And they've been out of electricity for like 12 days now. And that's a serious problem. I pray for those people and I hope something happens and breaks free for them so that they can get their power restored. A lot of people don't have fresh running water or any type of food, you know? Like, you 12 days, your refrigerator is done, you know? Like, your refrigerator is done after a couple of hours. So this is something that's very, very important to note and to actually put out there that not a lot of people are talking about. So I wanted to call attention to that. You know, I just look at our country and I'm like, I love my country. I love my nation. I just wish more people would stand up and push forward to actually be part of the change. Somebody mentioned to me earlier, they're like, oh, look at all the Republicans talking about Mondani and all of this and all of that and stuff like that. And I'm like, this person doesn't get it all. Because Mondani, allegedly he's Muslim, but he's supporting all of this other crazy stuff that Muslims don't generally support. But more than anything, he's communist. Like, when is it okay for us to actually have communists in power? But we have to talk about why it's like that. Charlie Kirk, love him, miss you, Charlie. Charlie Kirk warned us before all of this started to happen. He said Republicans have to focus more on affordability. Republicans have to focus more on affordability. This was a message that Charlie ran home again and again and again and again. And very clearly, people didn't get the message because he said if the Republicans do not take a focus on affordability, more people like Mondani and stuff like that are going to win and get into these various offices. And that's what it is. Well, why are they getting into these offices and stuff like that? Because they are promising that they will give the people relief. Even though they won't, even though they can't, you know, even though they'll end up like Ghana, where Ghana was socialist for a couple years and it just bankrupted the whole country and destroyed the country. And then the military took over because they were like, we're done with this, you know. But we can't even have those type of conversations, legitimate conversations. What are the Republicans doing, right? Explain it to me. We were just talking about Trump lowering the tariffs on international beef. I was talking to this guy earlier, and me and him got into it a little bit. He's a rancher, and he's happy that he's making a ton of money, right? And he was like, oh, people are mad. They weren't mad when the meat was cheap. Well, duh. Hello. He said, oh, well, but they're mad that farmers are making some money now. No, nobody's mad at farmers making some money. We're mad that meat, which is something that is necessary for life, is becoming a luxury good, right? Now, I live in New York State. Trump isn't the problem when it comes to beef or when it comes to meat. We don't have a federal regulation. We do have a little bit of federal regulation issues, but not really anything near the actual problem. We have state level issues, like in New York State. They've done everything that they can to kill off small butcheries, small animal processors, make it more difficult for small farms, okay, to cultivate animals and livestock. And they've done everything to run our farms into the ground, even subsidizing all of these ridiculous solar panels so that they don't grow crops or food or livestock in those areas anymore. But what are we doing? Why does it matter? Does it even matter? Can we talk about that? No, because Trump is the big bad guy, and it's always got to be all about Trump. And that's another big issue that we have. Everything is on Trump all the time. But when he does something good, nobody wants to talk about it. It was very interesting to see Gavin Newsom talk about the Trump accounts for the children. And he was like, yeah, the Trump accounts for the children, I encourage everybody to sign up. I encourage everybody to sign up. If you guys are watching this, if you got a child under 10, sign your kids up for the Trump accounts. Essentially what it is it's a IRA investment account for children, and it matures by the time that they're 18. You can get it for any child all the way up to the age of 18, but if they're below 10, they get some money already in it. And if they're below, what is it? Well, I believe if they were born in 2025 till 2028, they'll get $1,000 seated in their account. But if they're up to 10, they'll get $250 if they are in a zip code that I believe the average is less than $250,000. But that's only while the money lasts, right? So people have to sign up. So sign up, you know? But we talk about this and how Newsom all of a sudden did a 360 and was like, oh, wow, I encourage everybody to sign up for this. Now, I remember a couple months ago before January, before it went into place, Newsom was dragging it and saying it's terrible, it's this, it's that, da 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 da. Now he's all of a sudden on board with it. I can't stand that individual. I got some thoughts on words, but they're not good for online or for the radio, you know. So it's really, 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 really interesting to watch what's happening across the nation. The Democrats are losing power in their own party. The socialists are taking over. The Republicans are floundering because they're not delivering on anything that they say that they're going to deliver on the federal level, you know, in Congress and stuff like that. And I got to give it to Mike Johnson. Me and him, for a while, I wasn't too happy with him, but the Congress is cool, but terrible, right? But the House and Mike Johnson, they've been on point. They've been doing some good stuff down there. They've been doing some good work. Shout out to him. Okay? But Thune, trash. Thune, trash. Like, we got the majority there, and we ain't got nothing done. Nothing. Not a lick of spit. Why? You know, and people say, oh, well, it's because of this issue. It's because of that. I don't care about the issues. Why aren't there more things that we could have got done, that we could have got through while we have the majority there, right? Like, okay, well, you can't pass the SAVE Act. Okay, you can't pass this. Okay, what can you pass, right? What can all of the Republicans that are senators agree on? Can't y'all have like a weekend retreat or something, or a Zoom call? What are all the issues that you agree with? You know what I'm saying? Like, take a digital poll. Like, like, what? Like, it's despicable. It's despicable. And then they wonder why people are mad. You know? I'm mad. I'm very mad at the Senate, especially. Okay? And I'm tired, right? That's the other thing. I'm tired of people that want to pitch a fit on the internet but won't get active. We have to get active if we want to see something change in our nation. Otherwise, nothing will ever change. Whether it's as simple as going to a school board meeting or going to a city council meeting or something like that, we have to have our people getting more involved, because if we don't, nobody will. And the fact of the matter is, right now, very few people are. And it's terribly sad, because we as Americans have a duty to our nation to actually do our best to improve the quality of life in our nation for the future generations. And it's just something that absolutely is not happening right now. People aren't getting involved with city councils or town councils. We have people complain about the school districts and how terrible the school districts are. We all know how terrible the school districts are. How come people aren't getting more involved? I had some friends that ran for school board a couple years ago, and they got grilled hard, right? Like it was really bad and really sad because they didn't have enough people to support them to actually get across the final line. And if you look at the actual, what do you call them? If you look at the actual results, like it's only a couple thousand votes. Like you could have touched those houses, you could have knocked those doors if more people would get involved. But, that would be too much like right. I don't know what's going on with my comments here. I see comments from YouTube don't seem to be coming in right now. I don't know what's up with that. But drop more comments. I'll try to pop them up later. Keep dropping comments. Drop some more hearts. Drop some likes. Drop some flags in the comments. And we'll do our best to pop the comments up on the screen. If you're on Facebook, definitely drop some comments. If you're on YouTube or if you're on Twitter or X, drop some comments. Okay, every comment helps a lot. Hit the share, hit the like button, all of that. It all helps. So let's jump back into it, right? So as we're having these important conversations, one thing always strikes me, we've got people that say they care, but when you look for what they're doing, it doesn't show you that they actually care. Are they involved? How much do they care? And I'm not saying that they should go out and help another candidate, although I do believe that a lot of people should help candidates and stuff like that. But my question is, what are you doing as an individual? Are you getting out? Are you getting active? Are you going to the council meetings, the board meetings, the school, whatever, the planning, zoning meetings, whatever? What are you doing to make a difference other than complaining on the internet or to your friends at work? What are you doing? Where is your sense of duty? Like it just doesn't exist. It doesn't seem to exist for most people. And this is what's wrong with our nation. We must return that sense of duty to our country. We must restore patriotism in our country. We must restore Christ as the headship of our nation. Jesus Christ must sit on the throne in the United States of America. When they say no kings, they don't mean Trump. They're talking about no Jesus. Okay? And don't get it mistaken. That's exactly what they mean, no matter how much they try. We had a ton of different countries. We had a ton of different countries in South America this year that gave up communism and socialism. They voted down presidents that wanted that. They voted down closer ties to China and all of that because it wasn't good. So now we as the United States have to have a choice, have a chance. Pray we have a chance left, but we have a decision to make. We have to decide between communism and our very republic. We are a republic if we can keep it. That's what Benjamin Franklin said. But right now, it seems as though it's becoming more and more difficult to maintain our republic. And it really started with the deceit and the lies that our country is a democracy. And people will tell you whatever they want. Oh, well, it's a republic, but it's like a democracy or whatever the case is. No, a democracy is mob rule with no constitution. And people say, oh, well, it's a representative democracy. It's not. It's a representative republic. It's a big difference. Okay? There is no constitution. There is no Bill of Rights. Well, there's no Bill of Rights. There's our constitution. But there's no Bill of Rights to protect the groups that are the select individual, not in a democracy. So as we move further away from that, we see the continued stripping away of our constitutional rights. And this is why these communists are able to get in. We see them go after the Second Amendment all the time. They don't want you to defend yourself. They don't want you to have the right to bear arms. We see them go after the First Amendment. They don't want you to redress your grievances with your government. Now they're trying to limit freedom of mobility. They're trying to get rid of the Fourth Amendment rights. They're trying to do more surveillance. unreasonable search and seizure. Like, we got a whole bunch of things that are the complete deterioration of our Bill of Rights. And where are the people to stand up and say no more? We must stand up and say no more. We have our republic as long as we'll keep it. But in order to keep it, that means that we have to keep it up. There's upkeep on that, and it has to be done. And we can't just be passive individuals when it comes to that. We have to participate in government. It's not just about voting. Voting is extremely important, and I know not everybody has faith in the election system. That's why we gotta vote so much. So many people gotta turn out to vote that they couldn't possibly cheat if they wanted to. You know what I'm saying? But more than that, we need people not just to vote, but to hold these people accountable when they're in office. People say, oh, well, the accountability comes at the ballot box. No, it comes after they're in office and they're not delivering on what they promised that they were. When was the last time you engaged with your city council or town council? When was the last time you engaged with your state assemblyman or state senator? Sometimes it's called state house, depending on where you live. When was the last time you engaged with your congressman or your federal senator? We have to become more engaged in politics. And I'll leave you with this. I was having a conversation. There was a violent interaction at a sporting event here where I live. There were kids and youth playing basketball, and they were having a little tournament, like they have little tournaments every other weekend out here where I live. And then there was they were shooting at the tournament. I don't know how many bullets they were shooting or whatever the case was. It was like 9 shots. I saw like 9 of the little yellow things that they put down for the casings and stuff like that. But I saw that, and then people were saying, yeah, man, this is messed up. It makes me sad or whatever. I said, yeah. I said, I'm tired of it. I said, because it happens too often, and it's because we need to pass laws to put criminals in jail. And somebody's like, it's not political. You always make things political. That's because it is political. The laws that put criminals in jail are laws. Laws are political. Okay? Elected officials are political. They're political officials. That's why this is political. Like, it's all a political thing. You allow the criminals to run wild, that's political. The way you educate the children, that's political. Your toilet going flush, that's political. Your garbage getting picked up, that's political. All of these things, down to the air that you breathe and down to the water that you drink, it's all political. And it's time for us to stand up and get involved and say, we will restore our republic. You guys, be blessed and be well. And remember, stand up, speak up, and don't shut up. Take action. I'll catch you later. All right, you guys, hit the like, hit the share button. If you want to donate to the show, you can donate right there to show you how to donate. We've got Cash App, $MW Real, the number 1, or you can do Venmo or PayPal, and that's at Marcus C. Williams. We also have it down below, depending on how your screen looks. So please do donate. Help us make more episodes because it's not free. And we would like to do more airtime so we can talk more about the important things affecting all of us in society, because I love you guys. I love our country, and we must turn things around. Be blessed and be well.